Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. You know, the leftist media loves to smear the Trump family as selfish, as trashy elitists who don't care about anybody but themselves. They're bad, trashy people who just want to enrich themselves. And you know, they've been hammering this caricature over and over for years. But again, it's narrative versus reality, because when we see the Trump family in action, the exact opposite is revealed. You want trashy? Then look no further than Jill frickin' Biden. You want class? Well, I'll tell you where you'll find it. You'll find it at the White House with First Lady Melania Trump, who once again rises above all the caricatures and all the hate, all the slander that she's faced, and most importantly rises to the occasion. She penned a letter for Vladimir Putin, a heartfelt, serious call for peace and dignity. And if you read the letter, it doesn't sound like the words of some trashy socialite. It sounds like a potentially incredible moment in history, where the First Lady writes a letter with class and clarity, urging an end to the bloodshed and painting a vision of a peaceful future for the next generation. In other words, while the media is busy hurling insults and focused on all the bullshit, the Trump family again is focused on doing the right thing and doing it in the best way possible. Let me show you guys exactly what's going on here. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. Alright folks, so I want to show you guys this. Let's pull it up here on screen. We've got Melania Trump, the First Lady of the United States of America. She writes a letter on August 15th, 2025. Dear President Putin, every child shares the same quiet dreams in their heart. Whether born randomly into a nation's rustic countryside or a magnificent city center, they dream of love, possibility, and safety from danger. As parents, it is our duty to nurture the next generation's hope. As leaders, the responsibility to sustain our children extends beyond the comfort of a few. Undeniably, we must strive to paint a dignity-filled world for all, so that every soul may wake to peace, and so that the future itself is perfectly guarded. A simple yet profound concept, Mr. Putin, as I am sure you agree, is that each generation's descendants begin their lives with a purity, an innocence, which stands above geography, government, and ideology. Yet in today's world, some children are forced to carry a quiet laughter, untouched by the darkness around them, a silent defiance against the forces that can potentially claim their future. Mr. Putin, you can single-handedly restore their melodic laughter. In protecting the innocence of these children, you will do more than serve Russia alone. You serve humanity itself. Such a bold idea transcends all human division, and you, Mr. Putin, are fit to implement this vision with the stroke of a pen today. It is time. Sincerely, Melania Trump. And I gotta tell you, that is a beautiful letter. I mean, that is just incredible. It's the stuff that could really make it to the history books if Vladimir Putin does in fact do the right thing. And that's exactly what Melania Trump is urging. Frankly, that's what I think the Trump administration and the Trump family is doing. That's the goal here. You know, the media will tell you that Donald Trump's doing it for his own ambitions. He wants to cozy up to the dictators. He wants to be in the spotlight with these guys so he can puff his chest. But that's not true at all, and I think the real ambition, the real goal, is what was laid out in that Melania Trump letter. And after reading that, let me ask you, does that sound like a family that's driven by selfishness, corruption, and greed? Or does it sound like leaders who actually care about humanity's future? People who are willing to rise above politics and ideology to push peace? And that's really what the Trump administration is trying to do. The Democrats clearly cannot get beyond the programming. They've been programmed with all this Vladimir Putin bad stuff. The whole situation is irredeemable, and they want to fight to the bitter end. They'll sacrifice every Ukrainian to get at Putin. But this administration is willing to put it all aside if it means achieving something good for the planet. I don't know about you guys, but I am on Team Trump, and I guess at this point I'm on Team Melania Trump. But now, of course, the question is peace even realistic? I mean, that's the big question. Well, in order to assess that, we have to understand the Russian angle, which is really where I think a lot of people have failed in analyzing this Russia-Ukraine stuff. They only stick to one side, they only get the one bias angle, only the American deep state angle and nothing else. But in order to truly understand what's going on here, and most importantly, in order to broker peace, you need to understand the demands of both sides. It's simply relevant. Both sides are going to have to make concessions whether you like it or not, and that's something that the left really needs to understand. You're not going to get anything if you have zero intention to compromise even a single %. Well, in order to understand the Russian perspective, let's listen to Vladimir Putin speaking on the issue right after the event.
Мы поговорили практически по всем направлениям нашего взаимодействия, но прежде всего, конечно, говорили о возможном разрешении украинского кризиса на справедливой основе. И, конечно, у нас была возможность, что мы сделали, поговорить о генезисе, о причинах этого кризиса, и именно устранение этих первопричин должно быть положено в основу урегулирования. Мы давно напрямую не вели переговоров подобного рода на таком уровне. Повторяю еще раз, была возможность спокойно, детально еще раз изложить нашу позицию. Мы, разумеется, с уважением относимся и к позиции американской администрации, которая видит необходимость скорейшего прекращения боевых действий. Ну и мы тоже этого бы хотели. И хотели бы перейти к решению всех вопросов мирными средствами. Разговор был очень откровенным, содержательным, и, на мой взгляд, это приближает нас к нужным решениям.
Now, unfortunately, the clip cuts out there, and I tried for hours, trust me, to get the other part of the clip, but it just simply does not exist online. But even though we don't have the exact details of what Putin is looking for, at least we get some reassurance that the Russians are happy with the direction of the talks. And at least you could tell that they're open. Basically, Vladimir Putin's saying the same thing that President Trump is. They found agreement on most issues, but there's just a couple things that need to get ironed out. What those things are, well, we are getting some reporting, like this Fox News segment, for instance.
The contours of a potential peace plan are coming together after President Putin's visit here in Alaska. Russia essentially wants control of 2 territories in eastern Ukraine if they are going to agree to ceasefire everywhere else. Ukraine wants security guarantees. They want Western troops to come into their country and guarantee that Russia doesn't come back and try anything again. That is according to a brand new item in the Washington Post.
It was very extensive, and we agreed on a lot of points. I mean, a lot of points we're agreed on. But there's not that much. There's, 1 or 2 pretty significant items, but I think they can be reached. Now it's really up to President Zelensky to get it done.
President Zelensky is confirmed for a White House visit on Monday. European partners have reportedly also been invited. We don't know if that would be in person or virtual. The president says this is because it was determined by all that the best way to end the horrific war between Russia and Ukraine is to go directly to a peace agreement, which would end the war, and not a mere ceasefire agreement, which oftentimes do not hold up. Between now and then, Zelensky is warning, based on the political and diplomatic situation around Ukraine and knowing Russia's treachery, we anticipate that in the coming days, the Russian army may try to increase pressure and strikes against Ukrainian positions in order to create more favorable political circumstances for talks with global actors. And despite his refusal to end the war so far, Putin says he sees progress.
Our negotiations have been held in a constructive atmosphere of mutual respect. We have very thorough negotiations.
It seems like Putin wants to keep the Donbass region, and that's really where the pressure is building. Is that realistic? Now, that's obviously an extreme ask, and yes, it will absolutely trigger the warmongers who think that the fight should continue to the last Ukrainian. But the reality is, the Russians have been taking more and more land from the Ukrainians. And so the Ukrainians are stuck in a very hard place right now. Keep the bloodshed going, potentially lose even more, continue destabilizing the region, or accept the loss of Donbass, get some security guarantees. We also have the minerals deal, which puts American industry on the ground. And so look, from my perspective, I think both sides are going to have to give something. What exactly that is, we don't know. It's mostly speculation based on reporting so far. But again, the most important thing is at least we're having the conversation. For me personally, that's the only thing I care about. I care about the genuine intention of doing something good, of ending this conflict. Is the deal going to be perfect? No, of course not. It's probably not going to be perfect for both sides, but that's what deal making is all about. It's about compromise. I guess it remains to be seen what both sides are willing to compromise and what the final deal is going to look like. But again, at least we're walking towards that direction. And really, what else could people ask for? Anyways, that's pretty much what I got for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.